From grieving wife to murder suspect, from loving mother to monster. This is the chilling story of Kouri Richins, the wife who allegedly killed her own husband and then went on to write a book for children, teaching them about dealing with loss. On March 4th, 2022, 39-year-old Kouri Richins was found dead in his bedroom after drinking a cocktail prepared by his wife, Kouri. Eric had sipped on a Moscow Mule, a popular drink containing vodka, ginger beer, and lime juice. Only this edition of the classic cocktail reportedly also contained 5 times the legal dose of. After gifting her husband the drink to celebrate Kouri's closing of a business deal, Kouri went to sleep in the bedroom of one of the couple's 3 children. She awoke to find Eric dead and called 911. When questioned, Kouri Richins claimed to have performed CPR on her husband once discovering him cold to the touch, though investigators found this questionable due to the large amounts of blood still present in Eric's mouth. In another suspicious statement, Kouri shared that she had kept her phone plugged in to charge overnight in the couple's bedroom, yet investigators found that the phone had been moved several times during the night and that the screen had been unlocked multiple times before Kouri made her call to 911. The circumstances around Kouri Richins' death were undoubtedly suspicious, and Kouri was a suspect. Though it would be over a year before any arrests would be made, Kouri Richins would spend the next 12 months committing shocking act after shocking act, and as a result, further digging herself into a hole. 2 days after Eric's death, Kouri Richins hired a locksmith to drill into her husband's safe. She was hoping to get her hands on the cash amount of over $100,000, but Eric's sister, Kouri Richins Benson, interfered and demanded Kouri leave the safe untouched. This reasonable request was followed by Kouri attacking her sister-in-law. The widow reportedly punched Kouri Richins Benson in the face and neck. After this incident, Richins Benson hired a private investigator to keep an eye on Kouri. This fallout put a shocking spotlight on Kouri's apparent desire to get at Eric's money, yet a look back to earlier days in their 9-year relationship renders this somewhat unsurprising. At some point between 2015 and 17, Kouri Richins, without Eric's knowledge, purchased 4 life insurance policies on her husband. These totaled to the amount of almost $2 million. In late 2020, Kouri Richins reportedly obtained and then spent a $250,000 home equity line of credit. She also withdrew around $100,000 from Eric's bank accounts and spent approximately $30,000 using Eric's credit cards. This was all done without Eric's knowledge. When Kouri was finally confronted by her husband about her wallet-draining antics, she agreed to pay Kouri Richins back. Eric was not convinced. 1 month later, the father of 3 consulted with a divorce lawyer. Eric was already looking for a way out, and just in case the unthinkable happened, Kouri Richins changed his will. He formed a living trust and placed it in control of his sister, Katie. Kouri Richins was now shut out in the cold, but she wasn't going to take this defeat lying down. In January of 2022, Kouri made herself the beneficiary on Eric's life insurance. Once Eric was made aware of this change, he quickly reverted it back. Kouri then filed for a new $100,000 life insurance policy for Kouri Richins. Her application was unsuccessful. By the time of Kouri Richins' death, Kouri had allegedly amassed a debt of around $1.8 million. With Kouri's financial troubles and her repeated attempts to fiddle her husband's funds, it seems almost clear that Kouri Richins' motive to kill was money. But if that's the case, was there ever any reason for Kouri Richins to suspect that his wife would do something so heinous in order to take control of his wealth? The tragic answer is yes. Valentine's Day 2022, Kouri Richins makes her husband a sandwich, then places it in his truck accompanied by a romantic note expressing her love. It's the day when so many couples take the time to show their appreciation and affection for each other. Yet Kouri Richins is using this day as something completely different. Eric eats what he believes to be a lovingly prepared meal. He only consumes 1 bite before he breaks out in hives and has tremendous difficulty breathing. Eric becomes so ill, he has to use his son's EpiPen. This incident was reportedly the first time that Kouri Richins attempted to do her husband physical harm. Eric Richins believed his wife had tried to poison him. He told a friend this much. The Sinister Sandwich should have been the final call for Eric Richins to leave his wife and get himself to safety because Kouri was allegedly already planning her next attempt on his life. 2 days prior to feeding her husband a poisonous lunch, Kouri Richins is reported to have contacted an acquaintance and asked for. After the sandwich failed to end Eric's life, Kouri is said to have reached out to the same acquaintance, but this time to ask for something stronger. Weeks later, Eric Richins was lying lifeless on his bedroom floor with a fatal dose of in his system. Kouri Richins' alleged actions mentioned up to this point have ranged from disturbing to downright evil. But what Kouri did 12 months after her husband's death almost defies belief. March of 2023 marked the 1-year anniversary of Eric Richins' death. Kouri Richins seemingly saw the date as the perfect time to channel hers and her children's emotions surrounding Eric's passing, and author her own book teaching young children how to deal with grief. Kouri dedicated her 41-page book, Are You With Me?, to her amazing husband and father. She sold the book on Amazon and even went on Salt Lake City radio to promote it. Her reasoning for penning the book was undeniably bizarre, given the circumstances of Eric's death. Yet Kouri held nothing back when opening up about her decision to release Are You With Me? I went on Amazon and Barnes & Noble to try to find something to help us cope at night. Nights are the hardest. I just wanted some story to read to my kids at night, and I couldn't find anything that suited them, so I was like, let's just write one. Kouri Richins. This story got even weirder once the radio station learned that Kouri was in fact a suspect in her husband's murder. The book was removed from sale, and the radio station apologized, stating they were not previously aware of the situation. 1 month after Kouri's radio appearance, she was arrested and charged with aggravated murder and 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. Court documents have revealed even more evidence that paint Kouri as the true villain in this story. Kouri Richins' internet history contained the following searches. What is a lethal dose of? Luxury prisons for the rich in America? Death certificate says pending. Will life insurance still pay? Can cops force you to do lie detector test? How to permanently delete information from an iPhone? Kouri's defense lawyers do have an explanation for these curious questions. However, they claim these searches were made as part of Kouri simply researching her own case and are not evidence of her guilt. Despite the charges and a seemingly overwhelming amount of evidence, Kouri Richins maintains her innocence. She has claimed that Eric's reaction after eating the sandwich on Valentine's Day was due to allergies, and that he had been struggling with an addiction to pain medication prior to his death. She has also shared her belief that Eric was having an affair with a work colleague. It has been over a year since Eric's untimely death. His family are still seeking justice, whereas Kouri is keen to move on with her life. I just want this over. I just want our lives back and to move on and grieve and mourn my husband without looking over my shoulder constantly for you guys, or the private investigator or the Richins family, Kouri Richins. The latest development in Kouri's outrageous story is that on June 9th, 2023, Kouri filed a lawsuit against Eric Richins' estate, seeking half the equity in the couple's $1.9 million home. Even after her arrest, and even though she is facing a murder charge, Kouri Richins is still fighting for the money she believes she is owed. This tale may present itself as a cautionary one advising against the evils of money, though the reality is that if Kouri Richins did in fact murder her husband, money, no matter how much, is no worthy excuse for such evil.